Hi Prachi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Great. So let's start the session and very good afternoon everyone. I'm Yug and I'll be moderating today's session. I request the audience to keep their cameras on to make the session more interactive. Hi ma'am, it's a pleasure connecting you virtually at Avantika University. Before we start the session, I would like to give a small introduction about the speaker. So Prachi Oswal is a textile designer and is the founder of Tapestry. It is a home decor brand that brings unique hand-woven wall hangings for some home spaces and hand-woven goods like bookmarks, bracelets, and keychains, etc. A Srishti Institute of Art, Design and Technology graduate, she has also worked as a textile designer at Traken Export Services and as a freelance designer. She is a passionate weaver who lives in a world full of fibers, colors, and everything aesthetic. We are glad to have you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Prachi Oswal, and I'm truly honored to be here sharing my journey of Tapestried with you all. So, I began Tapestried on May 3rd, 2020 during the lockdown, and unbelievably, it's been a great journey for me. So, actually, I began this page in 2018, right after my graduation, only to continue my passion for weaving. But I knew that somewhere after graduation I wanted work experience, so in between of jobs and my projects I couldn't give weaving so much attention, my page so much attention. So in between I used to make few wall hangings, and they were only meant for like gifting purpose and my joy towards weaving. So for a bit it was on hold as I pursued my job and my work. So let me begin from my education. I'm a industrial designer, graduated from Srishti Institute of Art, Design and Technology, Bangalore, and my major is in textiles. I graduated in 2018, and it was a 4-year degree course. So initially, I had no idea that I will be, having a textile degree course in my hand, because after 10th, I actually wanted to pursue being a CA. So it all just like changed as soon as my relative introduced this industry to me, and I suddenly took a lot of interest in designing, and I guess that's where I landed in Srishti. So in the right after 12th, I joined Srishti for 4 years. And in my second year, I was introduced to textiles. I was introduced to weaving. And as soon as I got to it, I knew that I wanted to take this further. I knew that this was something that really interested me. And though in my first year, I explored many various things like graphics, I explored product designing, I explored film. But after working on textiles and getting to know textiles, and after my first weaving course, I knew this was it. This was my thing, and I had to take this further. So the next 2 years was only weaving till my graduation, and I've also had really great courses of weaving in my college. So I've visited the Himachal Pradesh for my pre-dip, and I've also visited Sandur. It's a town in Karnataka for my dip project. So here we had projects like where we had to visit the place. We had to stay with the artisans for around 10 days a week. We had to study their culture. We had to study their lifestyle, how they get inspired, and how they weave, how they get their culture into their weaving, and how they sell and make their products like locally. So how the entire process was. So I visited Himachal, I visited Sandur, and they were great opportunities for me. I feel visiting artisans and learning the culture. I got to learn more about weaving. So I got inspired from them. The projects were like you get inspired from these artisans, their place, their culture. You come back, you get a lot of information, and it's on you how you use your creativity and put it down and like make a project of yourself, make a product line of yourself. So I think these two main projects have got me somewhere where I am today. Like it's given me a great experience, and these two projects have been the really starting point to my thought process and getting to learn more about textiles and weaving. So after my graduation in 2018, I also got a similar opportunity. So now I was graduated, and immediately in another month, I got this opportunity from Gatha brand. It's a brand in Ahmedabad. And I got an opportunity for a 3 month project where I had to be in Ahmedabad for 3 months, out of which 1 week I had to visit Kumbakonam. It's a town in Tamil Nadu. So it's a similar project that I also did in college. So I immediately took this opportunity, and I was like, I want to roam everywhere, get to know the traditions of India, get to know the cultures, the artisans of India, and to see how each culture differentiates, how each cluster works, and how they make their products. Because weaving, like something built, like it's a built on process. So as soon as I wove in college and I met these artisans, so it just got me so much interested into this, so that I immediately took this opportunity. And 1 week I stayed in Kumbakonam. I stayed with the artisans, I interacted with them. So this whole project was to make silk saris and to design contemporary silk saris, something that was different from what they usually do, the traditional, typical South Indian saris. So this was my first project, like outside of college. So it was kind of scary to stay alone in Kumbakonam. It was kind of scary to make a whole range of saris. It was overwhelming also at the same time. So it was a whole experience, but it was great. I visited a lot of temples in Kumbakonam. I visited the artisans. I visited flower markets. I visited everything in those 10 days that I got. I came back with a lot of information, a lot of ideas on how I'm going to do this whole project. So I think inspiration, is everywhere, and you just have to see, observe, and it's just the way how you imply it. So never stop yourself, and you should keep going. So this is something even I learned over time, and so this whole project was where I did 10 silk saris, and I made it into a contemporary look, and it was a great experience. So basically, all these three different clusters and three different places were a huge, inspiration for me, right from Himachal, Sandur, and Kumbakonam. All three were very different. All three clusters were very different, but they were the starting point for me, I feel, for weaving. So in Himachal, I made a range of wall art, these huge panels of woven pieces where I've depicted, like, three stories. So I made three panels of woven pieces around like 40 inch in height, and depicting the stories of how my interactions with the artisans were, or some scene that, got created while I was weaving with the artisans. So that was my first weaving project that I did. And Sandur, when I visited, we visited the Lambani community. So Lambani, if you're aware of, are those women with really colorful clothing, and they usually have a lot of coin work and on their attires, and they're very vibrant looking women. So from there I got inspiration, and I used those colors in my product, and I made a range of floor cushions and cushions, like home furnishings basically. And Kumbakonam, I did silk saris, so I got like a whole variation of product line to work with. So this was my starting of, like, how I was introduced to weaving in college as well. Of course, I did, like, basic weaving and exploration of different weaves and the technicalities in college, but these were my main projects. So right after this Kumbakonam project, I think I took a little break, and that's where I began my first job in Tracon Export Services, Bombay. It's an international export house of home furnishings. So, but here I got to do something very different. So, as it being an international export house, I got to work with all product range, cushions, kitchen linen, table linen, everything. But the designing part was the most interesting part because it was season wise. So we started with spring, summer, fall, Christmas, Halloween, Easter. So this was a whole different experience for me. I got to design different seasons and convert them into different products, and getting the product made right in front of you of your designs was a whole different feeling. So this was something that I really enjoyed too a lot, and this was when I fixed that in future I want to get into home furnishings. I wouldn't prefer getting into clothing or saris because I did a sari project as well. So after this experience I figured that I want to get into home furnishings. So here I worked for a year because I felt like it's going to be the same repetitive every year, and because it's going to be all season designing at each time. So I got a great experience, and I left my job exactly after a year. I began in Feb 19, and I left in Feb 2020. So I shifted back to Pune, luckily right in time before the lockdown hit. I had no idea, but luckily I got home on time, and I shifted back to Pune to maybe think of applying somewhere more, take some experience. So now I was in a big dilemma of what I should do further. Should I take more work experience? Should I do my masters? Or should I just begin something on my own? But what do I begin? How do I begin? So there's a whole big question mark. But luckily, and unfortunately, in March, lockdown happened, and this was the time for me to get back to weaving. And I wasn't like I was so happy that I'm getting back to weaving. I got the time to kind of think for myself, and I knew I have some time. So to exactly know what I'm going to do in the future, in the long run, what my plan is going to be. So I knew I had time to figure. But anyway, I got down to weaving as it was lockdown, and I was just waiting for this. So, and weaving actually kept me sane through lockdown. So I began weaving, and I had a small loom made from college also at home. So everything was kind of ready, and I had a lot of wool also from my college. So I just began, and I got back to my page, and I started making wall hangings. I started exploring weaving, and somehow in as soon as I started my page, I got more active on Instagram. I started uploading a lot of pictures, and I told my family friends to share my page and get everyone aware that something like this has begun. So slowly it kind of built. I made like around 3 4 wall hangings initially, and I only used to give it to my family and friends for gifting purposes, as everyone loved my weaving so much from college that I used to, be told, make something for us, make something for us, give something. So I think this wall hanging thing began. Now, let me tell you the idea of where I got, I should make wall hangings. So my first course in weaving in college was to make a frame loom of my own, like from the beginning, from scratch, everything. And I think it was quite simple to do the frame loom. But my first woven piece was a wall hanging. So I think I was just so fascinated. I was so excited to do that wall hanging, and it came out really well too. So I think that stuck with me, and that the idea of that home decor just felt something so fascinating. I came back home with that wall hanging, and that wall hanging was there on my wall in my hostel room for 4 years. So that thing was, I think, still with me, the idea of home decor and that wall hanging. So I think that led me, that idea was stuck with me, that I could do something maybe. So I think that's how I began with wall hangings as a gifting purpose. But mainly over the college years, as my knowledge bank increased, as I started following many brands, international. Hello? Yeah,
Yes, yes,
sorry,
yeah.
sorry. As I was saying, yeah. So as my knowledge bank increased, I started to follow many brands internationally, and getting the knowledge more of weaving. I realized like wall hanging was something it was very rare, and it wasn't like I couldn't everyone was doing like home furnishings or everything, but like wall hanging was something I felt it was unique, and it wasn't in the Indian market as much as it is in the US and in Australia. So I think that ideation also kind of got me to do this, and I felt it was something unique, it was interesting. So that's how I think the wall hanging idea came to me, and I just gave it a shot. I saw like how the interior world was slowly building, and the Indian market didn't have this concept of selling wall hangings. So I think overall this kind of mixed thing, got me to, like I should give this a shot, because there were so many big brands doing home furnishings and everything, but nobody like had a concept of like selling wall hangings. So I think I just went ahead with this, and slowly in a month's time, I got my first order, and I was so happy, like I couldn't just believe it. Slowly, my followers started increasing as my first wall hanging went, my second went, my third went, my 10th went, and it's just been unstoppable for me. Like I must say, in around 9 months, I've sold over 100 wall hangings till now. So it's been a great journey for me. And I also the another push for me was when in a month's time, when I started this page in May. So in a month's time, around like May end or June, I got this opportunity, this brand Jodi Life in Pune. So they gave me this opportunity. So during lockdown, they had these fun sessions of like, every Saturday, some artist or some creator is just taking over the stories and showing their talents, basically. So I got this opportunity from Jodi Life, and I was so happy with that also. Like, in a month's time, like I'd not even sold around like 10 wall hangings. I got this opportunity from such a huge platform of where they wanted me one Saturday, to have a fun workshop of like a making a bookmark. So that's when I think I got a push to my page. The response was overwhelming, and till date, I get people sending me images of their bookmarks that they've made watching my tutorial sitting at home. So I think that was a big push for me, and my followers just doubled, tripled overnight, because Jodi is a huge platform, and I'm truly thankful to them. To them, I think that's when my page just like it just went so much. Like it just my followers just increased so much, and then slowly my orders started increasing so much. So I think that was a major push for me. Also, in August, Jody again emailed me saying that we love your work, we love your wall hangings, and we would love to have few of your wall hangings on our website. And I think that mail just froze me, because Jody being such a huge platform, I'm just a startup of like a few months. And of course, I said a yes, and immediately they launched me. And I think till date I've sold 30 wall hangings through Jodi. So I think it's been great. Starting with such a boost, I think I'm just blessed that so soon such a small startup in a month got such a huge platform to showcase her work, her talent. And I think that's what boosted me to keep going, to keep making more. Each design I introduced was like it just the response was mind blowing, and there was a phase in between, like one design I'm making like 11 wall hangings back to back, the same design. So I think each design I introduced, the response was too overwhelming, and orders just kept coming, and slowly the numbers kept increasing. of my wall hangings that are being sold. Slowly, my followers kept increasing. So I think these small things just have like pushed me further to keep doing this. And so then one thing in between I started was also focusing on, now that I'm selling my wall hangings. So slowly I made a logo. I designed a logo for myself. Being a designer, I had the basic tools and the understanding. So slowly in between I designed a logo for myself because I had in mind that now I'm connected to a brand. I'm also selling slowly a lot of pieces. So I wanted to go like, uh, very systematically, as professionally as I can get. So the first thing, my logo came in, and slowly things were building. Now, the problems that I faced, won't call it a problem, but the hurdles that I came across were like now packaging. So the first 10 15 orders were, I was struggling a lot with how do I send this across. So I saw many videos of or many brands of how they do their packaging, and it was also lockdown, so that was a little bit of disadvantage for me, because in lockdown I couldn't help much. And so luckily, being a design student, I had a lot of cardboard at home. So initially, I used to make my own boxes. I used to roll the wall. I've actually tried a lot of packaging, like a square box, then a round box. I was just exploring initially of how I should pack it, how will it be sent properly. The first 2 3 pieces I kind of folded it, but then I realized that creases are coming. So then I started rolling them. So these are few things that you have to keep in mind. You don't think of them before starting, but as you face it, you try to solve an issue. So I think it's not a major issue, but as you get it, you find a solution to it. So, but luckily, like in May, things were starting to open, and as things started to open, I got down to my box hunt, because it wasn't practical for me to sit and make so many boxes and then to pack it, to do everything. Like it wasn't happening very neat. And being an OCD myself, like I just wasn't very satisfied with this. That like I That's why I started my box hunt. I was like, I need a proper boxes. I wanted to do it as professionally as I can. So through a friend, I got this a really good contact. I had several calls with several vendors there too. Like nothing seems easy. Nothing. Every You have to like struggle. You have to talk to many people. You have to find a way. So building a business is, then I realized that it's not easy. It's not something that's going to come to you in a platter. You have to struggle. You have to find your own solutions. You have to face your problems as and when they come, and it's not going to be easy. So finding this box vendor also took me a lot of time. I spoke to many vendors. I also had to keep in mind the cost, because I was just a startup. So I, can't also spend too much on it. So you have to keep everything in mind. But luckily, like I got a good vendor and I made my boxes. I'll just open my page now. I can show you all. So let me just get down.
Hi,
Just a second.
Prachi, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Prachi, while you are showing this, if you could just showcase to us one or two pieces which have been very close to you, certain story behind them. How did that idea appear? That would also inspire us.
Yeah. I'll be talking on that. I was just wanted to show. this box thing. So I'll just
Prachi, sorry to interrupt. I guess you are on mute.
yeah, I unmuted myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just keep my page open now so I can talk and y'all can see while I'm talking. So these were my first boxes that I made. So I made bigger boxes. So I made like two types or two sizes, and I got my brand name printed on it. I got these fun, wool balls around it like a pattern, so to kind of make it fun and interesting. So I was skeptical. I was scared, to get into everything because I was a startup, and you're always scared. Will I be continuing this after 5 months? Will I be continuing it? Or I've sold 10, 15, I've sold 50, but will there be more orders coming? But I think you always have to take a little bit of risk, and I think that's what I did. I stepped in and I straight made 100 boxes for initial. So this was one thing that was happening, and like finally my pieces were going properly in boxes. I made like these small tags. I made tapestry stickers, so kind of uh, having a brand is not only of you making things and delivering it. The whole process is very important of how you're delivering it. How important is it to put a thank you purchase note? How good, the first instance of your customer opening your box should also keep an impression, should also make an impression on your brand. So I wanted everything, like very to look at very interesting. So like if you open this box, the first thing you see is my brand name, this pattern, and then a thank you note. My sticker is there. So it kind of like, gets your customer, to come to your page again and to check for more. So I think these were the kind of struggles or little minor things that I came across step by step. So in around, uh, 1 second, I'll just show you. So side by side, I was also managing my personal orders. I was getting orders from Jody. So it was kind of good. I was kind of it was very hectic for me. I was kind of occupied with weaving now. Day night, I was only weaving by now, around 4 5 months from when I began. And slowly the work got so hectic, the numbers just kept increasing. Some days I just felt like giving up and wanted to take a break because everything was just happening so suddenly that I couldn't digest everything, and it was just getting too hectic for me. But I kept going and I kept the patience because the more the orders came, the more it actually boosted me to go ahead and uh, continue this. So I also got in more products. I started these rainbow keychains, as you all can see on the screen. Then I started these round circular pieces. I made a new frame for myself because the smaller one was old from college. So I made 2 3 more looms for me. So I think slowly my brand kept building. I explored different sizes, I explored different shapes. I got in these rainbow keychains, and they're very small things, but many people came to me for like gifting items. So that's when it struck me like I should make bookmarks. I should make these small things. So it's easily accessible and affordable for people to just quickly pick it up. So I think as and when days went, I started building and I started realizing how my audience, what they are liking, what they're not liking, what they expect. And I got many DMs saying, do you make this? Do you make that? Are these hand woven? Do you customize them? And everything. So yeah, this one project I want to share with you all as so this particular piece, this was, I think, one of the most special for me because one day I got this message from a lady saying, they were a newly married couple and they were building a wall in their room where they were putting up all the memories of their marriage life and everything. So she came to me and she had no idea actually of hand woven products and anything. But as soon as she saw my page, it just really interested her, and she came to me of how I could, somehow um, get some woven piece for her so that she can put up, because woven is something that's abstract. You can't, it's not like a painting where you can paint a face or you can paint a tree or anything. It's an abstract presentation of what you want. So what I did was I made a we decided on making a twin series of a same piece, and I took inspiration from their wedding attire. So this sari is what she wore for her wedding, and that was kind of the color palette of his attire. So somehow this frame I took into consideration how the diamonds, how the patterns are there on her sari, the color palette of her sari, the color palette of his attire. So from there is what I made this. If you all can see this piece, so this is something that I took inspiration from their wedding attire, something that they'll cherish forever. Like they had, I saw her wall also before, like she shared her wall with me. So I saw there were lovely photos of her marriage pictures, her pictures before. So that's how this idea struck me that how I can actually take inspiration from their wedding attire itself, because that day is the most memorable day for the bride and the groom. So I took inspiration from there, and this is what I did. And I think this was something that was very emotional for her also. And I think it was just a very good feeling for me to do something like this for someone. And I think this was one of the very special projects I've done till now. And yeah, so this just kept going, and I introduced more bookmarks, I introduced more designs. Then one thing was that many people keep telling me, that my color combinations are so good. How do I get inspiration from? How do I think of my designs? So I think in this area, I've never struggled. I think designs just come to me, and I take inspiration from all around me. Someday my color palette is inspired from somebody's dress attire. Someday it's inspired from some art piece I came across. So I think I'm just very observant, and I'm just aware of what I'm seeing. And I think you can take inspiration from anywhere. And I think that just slowly build my choice of colors. I think day by day I got better at it. And even same for designs, like I don't give it a second thought. Like if I want to explore geometry, so I'll just explore on the loom itself, like spontaneously. So that's how slowly I build designs. And as and when I got customized orders, I used to sketch out my designs, think of how, if a person wants something geometric, what different options can I give them, what different color palettes I can provide. So I think that's how I built my page slowly. And I think I didn't think so much, like, will it look good after I make it? Will it look good after I do it? I just went. And, in between, if I wanted some changes, I made those changes. Like, if this color is not really going, I just quickly changed it. So I think it just spontaneously came and it built on. And that's how I think I've slowly been doing this. And then another big thing that happened to me this October was, let me just share this with you all. So this was something that just, I don't know how to put it in words, but this was something that made me truly, truly happy and truly satisfied, and gave it a meaning to my brand, that why am I doing this, and is it even, because as soon as you start, you always think, will this work? Will people like it? does this mean something? Where is this going? And everything. So I think somehow you just need that, that moment for yourself where you realize, that yes, I am going on the right track. I am doing it right. People are appreciating me. So one thing that happened to me this October was I got this message from a lady in Canada, and she personally approached me, messaged me on Instagram, saying that she bought a wall hanging from Jody, and she really loved it so much that she asked if we could collaborate and she could have my wall hangings in her store in Toronto. And that moment, that message just made me like, I don't know, I can't put into words, but it was a very different feeling. It was a very overwhelming feeling, and I think I've never been so happy. And so that happened, and I just started to think that Tapestry in 7 months is international, is going to be sent overseas, is going to be seen in walls in homes of the Canadian people. And I think it was just a dream come true, and everything was just falling in place. So I sent around, it wasn't a huge number. I sent around 24 wall hangings and 12 bookmarks for starters to her. And 2 months I think I worked on this day night, and I got 24 wall hangings ready. I got 12 bookmarks ready, and I sent it to Canada. And I think it was an equally good response from there also. Like, I think within a week's time, she sold almost half of the wall hangings, and now very few numbers left. But I think it was a very good response. And this project, like the feeling of your brand going from nowhere, like I just started weaving as a passion in lockdown, and suddenly it's become my profession. So this whole journey of passion to profession has, been a different feeling. And I don't know, it's a whole different journey, and everything just happened so soon that I haven't still digested everything. And hopefully slowly everything will build on, and I will do more such projects in future. And so yeah, now I also explore in different types. Like, I try getting new designs every time. This geometric piece is one of the latest I've done. Bracelets is something I've recently added. And so slowly I'm building my product range also, like not only making it wall hangings, but getting these, small elements, like, that can be easily bought from people, can be given as a good gift. So I try and explore in different kinds also. And one thing that I also did lately was made new envelopes for my products. So initially, as I used to make my boxes, initially I also used to get these beautiful handmade papers, and I used to make envelopes as and when I used to get a bookmark order or a keychain order. So I've sold so many keychains, so many bookmarks, and each time I made an envelope myself, because I felt as a startup how much ever I can do by hand, I did it. But lately I realized, that it's time for now for me to also think of packaging for my smaller products. So I got these envelopes made with my brand name written all over it. I got new tags made. I got new stickers made for my brand. So I think slowly it's building, and it's been a great journey of 9 months. And I see a small studio for myself in the future, where the next big step I have to actually do is build a team for me, get someone to who can, work for me, and so that I can concentrate more on the designing part, getting more products and everything. So, but yeah, I plan on continuing this now forever, I think, and getting more product range, getting a vast product range. getting into the home furnishing sector of making cushions, table linen, kitchen linen, throws. And I think I want to make Tapestry even bigger than what it is today. And I hope this goes ahead. And it's been a great journey. So yeah, I think I'm done.
So that was super inspiring, Prachi. I'm sure Yug and our uh, participants have questions for you. So,
Yes.
Yug, maybe we could take one or two questions from you, then maybe from the participants.
Sure, sir. Thank you. So first of all, Praj, very amazing content and really inspiring for all the designers, aspiring designers present over here.
Thank you.
So so it's yeah. So how do you beat your algorithm and maintain the consistency of
I haven't got too much into it. Like I suggest what I've followed is you keep posting daily. Like you keep um whatever you're doing, small or big, just keep posting. Maybe as your story, maybe as your post. And if you're confident in what you're doing, and this is it. What I would say is, if you just know what you're doing, just post it, don't hesitate. And I think posting every day is one of the things that I suggest you should follow, because that, keeps your audience engaged. Another thing that recently Instagram has introduced is making IGTV videos, making reel videos. So that kind of, gets your audience interested, where you show a part of, your weaving that you're doing or how you're doing it, then what you're planning to do. So these fun things, I think that's what keeps your audience engaged. I think you don't have to dwell so much on how to maintain the algorithm and how to go about it. Just put like good content, and I think you'll be good to go. And yeah, that's about
thank you, ma'am. Is what advice to give to the young designers, young aspiring designers to become entrepreneurs?
it. So I think I'll just say what I learned from my journey. Even my journey has been from passion to profession. So I think I'll just say that don't self doubt yourself. Be confident on yourself, but just make sure what you're planning to do does make sense, will have an audience. I mean, will give you the audience you want. So if you have everything set in your mind, don't self doubt, don't be scared to go out there. Just be there and just start without thinking. Please do not think twice. Just start, and you really don't know what's ahead, like what's uh, like coming ahead, what can it get you, and it can just take you somewhere else where you've not even planned for yourself. Like me, I just started, and in 1 month I my products were on Jodi Life. In 5 months I was international. So I think don't think, don't hesitate, just go for it. But yes, do have in mind that what you're planning to put out there makes sense, is has a will be attracted to audience. Don't just randomly start anything for the sake of it. Have enough knowledge about it. You should make sure you're enjoying it. You have the talent of continuing it. So I think, yeah, just go for it.
That's interesting. Now I make it open for the audience to ask questions.
Sure.
So audience, over to you.
Nobody has questions.
So they are probably because there's a lot to think about. So yeah. So we do have few comments in the chat box.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much.
Guys, any questions?
Maybe you could continue asking the set of questions that you had, and the audience could put it up in the chat.
Sure, sure. I do have
Uh,
one question in the chat
I
box.
I also had a question.
Yeah,
Sure.
sure.
So, Prachi, you moved from industrial design to doing something of this sort. Changes of path.
No,
How?
no, no. In so it's not actually okay. Let me you complete. I'll give the answer. You
Sure.
complete.
So, I mean, obviously, you were learning textile product development at Srishti, but uh, one of the questions was knowing personally the Jaipur story. You wanted to go out and work for someone and taking the decision of being an entrepreneur. How does it feel being on your own as compared to going out and working for someone?
Okay, first I just wanted to say that in Srishti, the degree was industrial designing, but in that criteria was product, furniture, and textiles. So textile wasn't a separate degree. It was just a whole of like an industrial designer degree, and my major was into textiles. So I just wanted to clear that part. But yeah, working for a year, and I think I had in somewhere in mind that maybe I'll work for a year or two, but I had fixed that in the coming future I want something of my own, because I don't think job life is something that I want, and working 8 hours for somebody else, and working so much, but you're just not like it wasn't something of your own. So I think working 1 year only made me realize that I don't want to continue my job life, and I wanted to do something of my own, but I still wasn't very sure. That's when I said, like, when I finished my 1 year job and I came back home, I was in a dilemma of, should I take a little more work experience, because it's also scary to be an entrepreneur so soon, having only a year and a half's experience. But yeah, I think it just went and it just built on, and when I didn't see it coming, I began weaving out of my passion, and somehow it just led to this whole it becoming a brand. So yeah, I think it was just a journey that just came along and wasn't decided. Yeah, I think all thanks to lockdown.
That was a good actually opportunity. I do have one question on my DM in the chat box. So it says that how important is collaborating with other designers and artisans important?
Sorry, can you just please repeat it? I couldn't hear you properly.
Yes, the question says that how important it is to collaborate with the designers and artisans.
I think it is really important because initially in second year, I was taught all the technicalities of weaving. I've done the basic weaving of setting up the loom, of getting the threads, and everything was taught in college initially. But I think I'll thank my college for keeping projects where we got to interact with artisans, and it just expands your knowledge and expands your way of thinking, your way of doing things, because you meet so many people, you interact with them, and you see their journey, you learn from them. So I think it's very important to interact with artisans, especially because I'll talk from my experience. I visited like three different clusters, three different places, and I think it's been a great journey. You somewhere what you want to do, what you don't want to do, you learn so much from them. You see how they, having the tradition passed on from generations, have been continuing this, and how they sell their products in the market. So I think it's very important to get to know the whole process than sitting in a college in your desk and just learning weaving. I think this makes more, this gets you more to make you clear in your head as what you want to do, how are things. So I think that, and it's also interesting to meet new clusters to learn more. And even it's helped me to get in collaboration with Jody, because as I said, it's increased my followers, it's increased my brand. People are like know me now, so I think it's very important to do collaborations.
So thank you for that answer. We do have a question in the chat box.
Yeah.
We actually have two. Would you like me to read them out or?
No, I'll read them. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm wondering why the chat box. You could just unmute and ask. I
Yeah,
think
guys.
that would become more interactive. So, guys, whoever are sending questions, Aryaman, Manas, I request you to unmute and ask.
Sure. Hi, Prachi. This is Manas
Hi.
here.
Yes.
So I had a question. So how important is it to keep up with the trends when one's own style is actually totally different?
So I think trends, like who sets the trends? So it's no such compulsion that you have to follow a particular trend. I mean, basic you have to, but like when you have your own style, I think you set your own trend. Like if you have a style which is very different, which is attracting people, and I mean, like even if it's not very different or very attractive, like if it's supposed from some other field also, I think if your audience likes your style and your work, and I think you will be the trendsetter and people will come to you if they like your work. So I think it's not so much that how do you keep up with the trends. I think just continue doing your style and maybe the audience will come to you and like you will become a trend. So I think that's what even I followed, because the concept of wall hanging, if you see in India, there's no brand who's selling wall hanging. So this wall hanging concept is a very US Australian based, and many weavers, like many women at home, sit and weave and make these wall hangings. It's very common over there, but here it's not. So it was totally unique for me. So I think just go with your style, and even that's what even I did. And I think you don't have to bother much about the trend so much.
Sure.
Does that answer your question?
Sure, definitely. Thank you very much.
Hi, Prachi. I'm Ariman.
Hi, hello.
Yeah. So how have you managed to create a style on your of your own, and what is inspired behind your work?
So yeah, that's what, like I said, I've been following many brands and many companies, many all over the world. So I think in a world of copy pasting, you don't have to follow a particular brand style. You know, if suppose you like this person's work, so it's not. You just take inspiration from them. You take inspiration from all around you. Like I said, the inspiration behind my work is like from everywhere. Like I don't have a particular way, and I don't follow any brands, like just seeing them and then doing my work. I think and many orders I've got customized. So I think it also depends on how your audience wants it, how your customer wants it. So my inspiration is actually from everywhere. Like someday I'll take it from a clothing attire, as I said. The other time I'll take it from some art piece, from some picture I visited, some place I've visited. So I think I've just made designs from there and just got down to it. I've of course researched a lot about wall hangings and what's there in the market, what's not there. But I think taking inspiration from around you will, and getting your own designs will make you feel more that something of your own. So I think my inspiration has been all around. Like I can't just give one instance, like because my work is very abstract. So I think you can, like I converted a sari into an abstract form. So there are like hundreds and multiple ways, like I get ideas from everywhere that I can convert it into a wall hanging without it looking like it's like some exact piece from somewhere. But I think yeah.
Thank you so much.
I have a question, and my question is, I work in the mental health field, and it's really inspiring to see what you do and how you use it. So I want to ask you a question of like, is there a way that people who have not been formally trained can also like use wool and use it for their own personal use?
As in, you're asking if they can also make something from it or just use it in something else?
No, you make something out of it. So like how I saw your I've seen that you've done like you're talking about wall hangings, but you've done like bookmarks and stuff. So like
Yeah.
if we can make it by ourselves, is there a way to kind of learn it? Or do we need to be formally trained?
So no, so like weaving is a technique actually which is available all over the internet. So of course you can learn this and you can make small products, and there are endless products you can also make from this. You can one day make a bag, you can make a small pouch. So there are endless possibilities, and it's not there are no restrictions as to only making from wool or anything. You can also use rope. You can use so many different materials and explore at home. So in college, to make artistic pieces, I've used twigs, I've used plants, I've used flowers. So there's no such restriction, and you can explore with many multiple materials. And of course, you can learn this weaving. It might take you a little bit time, but I think of course you can do it sitting at home. And this I know because I've also taken a Jodi workshop, and I've got many people do my bookmarks, seeing my tutorial. So I think yes, there is a possibility.
Okay. Thank you.
You can also use waste plastic. Now there are many people like the sustainable thing is coming. So people use these like if you have a plastic bag at home, cut it into stripes. You can also weave that and make a pouch out of it. So there are no material restrictions as well.
Guys, any further questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Like having worked both as a freelance designer and a textile designer at Tracon, what suited you better and why?
So I think are you asking me like did I like my job, or do I like what I'm doing now more? Like what exactly are you
Yeah,
asking?
yeah. I'm
Of
asking
course,
you which one do you like better?
of course, hands down, what I'm doing right now, because as I said, like job, you're working as a slave for starters, because that is my first job, and I have only 1 year job experience. So it was crazy, like working 9 to 10 hours in office in front of a screen. And in Tracon, I actually used to make designs on my computer, because I didn't have the chance to weave it myself, of course, or interact with the weavers. So it was me simply designing. I did learn a lot, not saying I did not learn, but I think, of course, me doing this right now is much more what I look forward to, because this is something of my own, and this is something that I have created. Of course, I'm not going to be weaving this ahead in my future. Then I'm looking forward to build a team, but this is something of my own. So I'll prefer being an entrepreneur than working for someone and having a job.
Okay.
So I guess we are almost on time and it's 4 p.m. Guys, if you have any questions, we can take one or two questions. Okay, I don't think we have any further questions. So as we are near to the end of this session, I would like to thank you, ma'am, for taking out the time and sharing your experience and journey to Tapestry with us. We wish you best of the luck for your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hope what I spoke did inspire y'all, did make sense in some way. So yeah, I'm thankful for this, and hope y'all figure out your ways also.